It started like any other Friday night. I had been looking forward to this evening for weeks. An easy get-together with friends, good food, and laughter to kickstart the weekend. My girlfriend Emma was just as excited, even offering to help organize everything. I thought her enthusiasm was sweet, maybe even endearing. Little did I know, it was all part of a plan that would make me question everything I thought I knew about her. Emma had insisted on handling the guest list. "Trust me," she said with a playful smile. "I'll make sure everything goes smoothly." I didn't think much of it. After all, this was Emma, the woman I thought I'd spend the rest of my life with. So when people started arriving, I greeted them warmly, feeling grateful for the life I was building. Then the doorbell rang, and my world changed. When I opened the door, there he was, Mark, tall, confident, and uncomfortably familiar. I didn't need an introduction. I had seen his face in old photos Emma kept hidden in a box. He was her ex-boyfriend, the one she swore was a thing of the past. My stomach knotted, but I forced a smile, convincing myself there had to be a reasonable explanation. Maybe he was just a plus one. Maybe Emma hadn't expected him to show up. But when Emma saw him, her face lit up in a way that made my heart sink. "Mark, you made it," she exclaimed, rushing to hug him. The hug lasted a second too long, and I felt the first crack in my trust. She turned to me casually and said, "Oh, this is Mark. He's an old friend." Old friend, right. I clenched my jaw but decided not to make a scene. This was my home, my gathering, and I wasn't about to let an unexpected guest ruin it. I tried to focus on my friends, laughing at their jokes and joining in on conversations. But no matter where I went, my eyes kept drifting back to Emma and Mark. They were inseparable, standing too close in the living room or sharing inside jokes that made them laugh like teenagers. The tension between them was undeniable. My friends noticed too, exchanging uneasy glances but saying nothing. The final blow came when I walked into the kitchen to grab more snacks. I froze. There they were, Emma and Mark, standing way too close. At first, it looked like an intimate conversation, but then it happened. She leaned in, and their lips met. For a moment, I stood there in shock, unable to process what I was seeing. Was this a nightmare? Was I overreacting? But no, it was real. They were kissing in my kitchen in my home, while my friend sat just a few feet away. Anger surged through me like never before. My hands clenched into fists, and my usually calm voice erupted. "What the hell is going on here?" They jumped apart, their faces a mix of shock and guilt. Emma stammered, "I can explain," but I cut her off. "Explain? You think there's an explanation for this? You invited him here, lied to me about who he was, and now this?" Mark tried to speak, but I turned to him with a glare that could have cut through steel. "Get out," I said, my voice firm. He muttered an apology and scurried away like a coward. Emma, however, didn't move. Tears welled in her eyes as she tried to plead with me. "It was a mistake," she said. "I didn't mean for this to happen, but I was done." "You didn't mean for this to happen? You invited your ex into my home, kissed him under my roof, and thought I wouldn't notice? Get out, Emma. Take your things and leave." Her tears turned into sobs, but I didn't waver. By now, my friends had gathered in the doorway, their faces filled with disbelief and quiet support. Emma finally grabbed her purse and left, her cries echoing in the night as she walked away. Once the door slammed shut, a wave of emotions crashed over me. Anger, betrayal, heartbreak. But my friends surrounded me, offering comfort and reminding me of my worth. They told me I deserved someone who would value and respect me. In the days that followed, Emma tried to reach out, sending messages and leaving voicemails. She begged for another chance, promising it would never happen again. But I knew better. Trust, once broken, is nearly impossible to rebuild. Kicking her out that night was one of the hardest things I've ever done, but it was also one of the most empowering. It reminded me that love isn't just about feelings. It's about respect, loyalty, and trust. Emma shattered all three, and I wasn't about to stick around to pick up the pieces. Now, when I look back on that night, I feel a mix of pain and pride. Pain for the betrayal, but pride for standing up for myself. Sometimes, walking away isn't just the best option. It's the only one. And that night, I walked away with my head held high,